Back to the Stephen A. Smith Show. Before I get on out of here, I had to talk about a story that's very, very important. And albeit indirectly, it involves Caitlin Clark.
The WNBA won't enjoy the music at all, according to Stephen A. Smith, who just stated the whole part aloud. There have been persistent rumors. For almost 2 years that we've heard stories of animosity, jealousy, and even a conscious attempt to stop the largest female competitor. However, the most recent events with Nike, Travis Scott, and the professional basketball scene has been drastically altered by the Kelsey brothers, Stephen A. This morning, Smith did more than just stand up for the star of the Indiana Fever. We were all too scared to say our suspicions, but he verified them. Sophie and Caitlin Clark are more than just basketball players these days. Since they're a global team, no amount of PR can close the widening gap between them and the rest of the league. Economy, you were mistaken if you believed that the initial $28 million contract was the big thing. That was really a tiny percentage of a far larger project. The delicate WNBA ecosystem could be destroyed by the financial upheaval we are witnessing. Stephen A. Smith declares, from a high vantage point, I told you so to comprehend why the news this week is so unexpected. We must examine the event that set everything in motion. The Christmas Day ad that went viral on the internet revealed the internal conflict within the WNBA. As families watched the NBA schedule and exchanged gifts. The rest of the WNBA appeared to be a local recreational league after Nike dropped a bomb 3 days ago. To promote her impending signature, they produced the From Anywhere advertisement, a major cinematic advertising campaign. The Caitlin 1's shoe will make its debut in the spring of 2026. However, the subtleties are crucial. Look at the people in that advertising extensively. Her WNBA colleagues weren't the ones. Women's game legends like Diana Taurasi and Sheryl Swoopes didn't participate. Travis Scott, a rapper, was there. The Kelsey brothers were present. They stayed away from the WNBA entirely. Ecology and rose to prominence in world culture. Nike deliberately and strategically chose to place Sophie and Caitlin Clark alongside celebrities. Stephen A. Smith asserts that this was not a coincidence. It was a declaration. Caitlin Clark and Sophie are no longer in need of WNBA clearance. They've done better than the league before the full potential of their second season has even been realized. Additionally, Stephen A. claims that this particular advertisement is an older guard in the WNBA's worst nightmare. They asked her to settle her bills. She was supposed to bide her time. Rather, Nike disregarded everyone else and simply gave her the keys to the kingdom. However, since the money is the source of jealousy, we must discuss the facts to fully comprehend the seriousness of Stephen A. Smith's remarks. Word got out about her initial 8-year contract. The locker rooms in the league were already hostile. After 10 years of hard labor, players had to contend with a rookie who makes more money from sponsorships than the squad as a whole. However, new information from headquarters. The initial estimate of $28 million was extremely conservative. During the initial 3 years, insiders claim that the Caitlin Clark trademark shoe line alone may generate $150 million. Consider that. If you like the content, please think about liking this video and subscribing to the channel. You might be surprised to hear that nearly 83% of viewers do not currently have a subscription. It's free and only takes a second, but it means the world to us. Have you signed up yet? Wonderful. Thank you so much for your assistance. Now, let's go back to the video. $150 million. The typical WNBA player earns roughly $76,000 annually. The highest payout is less over $250,000, according to Stephen A. Smith. This enormous wealth gap is the radioactive core of the legal conflict we are witnessing these days. It's more than simply basketball. It concerns a novice who receives more money in a single sneaker drop than the majority of players would ever see. Additionally, Stephen A. Smith argues that there is no denying nature. Such economic disparity cannot be produced in a competitive locker room setting without provoking disdain. Stephen A. Smith now enters the conversation with his most remarkable confirmation. Thus far, this week, he appeared on camera to continue his contentious jealous scheme. demonstrating that animosity. After this commercial, attitudes toward Caitlin Clark and Sophie will undoubtedly soar. His reasoning is straightforward but harsh. The veterans who flew commercially and gave performances, as well as the women who founded this league, feel neglected at deserted gyms. They feel like they've put in a lot of effort just to see a rookie win the Michael Jordan Award. Therapy. Smith cautions that the previous season's severe fouls, hard checks, and freezing out were merely warm-up exercises. The target on her back has increased, as she is now the official face of Nike basketball, regardless of gender. 10 times. The background of Nike's strong approach must be taken into account. Nike is not a non-profit organization. They are a machine driven by data. They looked at the ratings. They observed the sales of jerseys in Indianapolis. They observed the lines encircling the block. They quickly discovered that Caitlin Clark is a unicorn. The WNBA League office attempted to allocate the marketing budget while Nike employed a varied approach among the 12 clubs in an effort to advance justice and equity. They invested all of their funds in. The star, Stephen A. Smith, has been critical of the WNBA's handling of Caitlin Clark's case since the start. Admittance, claiming they made a mistake by attempting to limit her notoriety in order to appease others. This illustrates the league's enormous strategic failure. The WNBA made an effort to be polite. They attempted to present us as a star-studded league. The disparity makes the league feel embarrassed. "No, you have one megastar and we're going to treat her like it," Nike retorted. Although the NBA views her as simply another rookie who needs to get in line, Nike views her as an icon, as said by Steven. This commercial demonstrates the WNBA's loss of narrative control. Caitlin Clark's size has surpassed the shield. You don't need the league's veteran support once Travis Scott co-signs you. However, let's examine the tale of envy that Stephen A. Smith has started offering more targeted discounts. Do you recall the disputes? During the previous 2 years, do you recall the Kennedy Carter hip check? Do you recall Reese and Angel's argument? Do you recall being kicked off the basketball team? All of these details are connected by Stephen A. Smith. Up until this precise moment, he claimed that all of those incidents were signs of the same illness, resentment. In retrospect, the basketball snub in particular seems even more absurd. The Indiana Fever Committee made a decision to keep the world's most marketable athlete at home because, to her inexperience, the same athlete is now the primary focus of a Nike commercial that surpasses all of the basketball marketing initiatives. Stephen A. On television, Smith exposed the hypocrisy in real time, emphasizing that although the WNBA and the basketball, he saw that gatekeepers were engaged in a political game that corporate America was attempting to win. They attempted to denigrate her and convince her that she wasn't unique in women's basketball. What was the outcome? Unlike the gatekeepers, she became affluent, powerful, and well-known, seen as impolite and heartless. Stephen A. Smith's affirmation is just a victory lap. "I warned you that you were abusing." He claims that Nike has now demonstrated this to her. The Caitlin ones will be released in April 2026. Officially, the hype train has departed the station, given that the hardware is an essential part of this jigsaw. And let's discuss what the fans are actually looking forward to. The rarest honor in basketball is receiving a signature sneaker. Few WNBA players have ever had 1.1 is owned by Breanna Stewart. In contrast to Sabrina Ionescu, Caitlin Clark's debut is on a distinct scale. Industry analysts are comparing this to the introduction of the Air instead of a WNBA sneaker. Jordan, they anticipate lines. They anticipate a boom in reselling markets. The new interlocking C logo from Nike has already appeared on t-shirts and billboards around the country. This is an important logo. It is making her a distinctive brand. Jordan comes to mind when you see the Jumpman, not the Chicago Bulls. Nike wants you to think of Sophie and Caitlin Clark rather than the WNBA or the Indiana Fever when you see the interlocking C. The wedge is pushed further by this slight variation. She is starting to become recognized as a brand. Irrespective of the league she participates in, Stephen A. Smith cautions that the WNBA is at risk from this type of leverage, because they require her far more than she requires them. This brings up a subject that Stephen A. Smith has never avoided: race. He has often talked about how Caitlin Clark's color influences her response and coverage. He has insisted that the reality that a white athlete from Iowa is being hailed as the league's savior after black women have dominated it for 25 years is a contributing factor to the indignation. Smith is adamant that this awkward discussion take place in private. This is made worse by the Nike deal, which fully supports Caitlin Clark, while other famous people might receive less attention, which strengthens the notion of privilege. Stephen A., however, points to the green to refute this. He contends that business is business. People are being seated by Caitlin Clark. She is a salesperson for jerseys. The WNBA has never seen TV ratings as high as hers. Smith says she should be commended by the players for raising the possible salary cap as opposed to locking her out. He affirmed that even though the flood was rising, while everyone benefits from charter flights, improved lodging, and increased media coverage, participants are more concerned. They are more concerned with having fun than with who is in charge. Additionally, the From Any Place commercial emphasizes a significant cultural change by making use of the Kelsey brothers and Travis Scott. Sophie and Caitlin Clark are crossover stars, according to Nike. She appeals to NFL supporters. Hip-hop lovers are drawn to her, people who have never seen a quarter of WNBA basketball. This is the pinnacle of marketing. The WNBA has mostly targeted its current fan base with advertisements for a significant period of time. That wall was destroyed by Sophie and Caitlin Clark, according to Stephen A. Smith, do of her. She is untouchable because to her broad appeal. The following season, if the WNBA players attempt to mistreat her or act dishonestly, basketball fans won't be the only ones who take offense. The general public will be the source of it. Let's look at how we came to this point. Since this timeline shows that it was inevitable, there was fierce competition following Caitlin Clark's departure from Iowa for her services. Allure desired her. Nike understood they couldn't lose in spite of Adidas's effective marketing. They witnessed the drawn-out process of postponing the shoe's release until the spring of 2026. Soren's was calculated. They wanted to make things more tense. Their goal was to prolong her rookie campaign. Let the tales come to life. Allow the villains to appear such that the movie's climax would occur when they dropped the shoe. Location. According to Stephen A., Nike's WNBA performance was flawless. Nike is presently advertising the Associated Goods after they let the league to create the drama. Caitlin Clark's debut is another issue with the Sabrina effect. Despite Sabrina Ionescu's shoe debut, it appears that 5 times the inventory is being prepared. Nike is wagering that this sneaker will become a staple of lifestyle due to its phenomenal success. If both boys and girls wear the Caitlin ones to school or the mall, they will resemble Jordans or Dunks. And the club, she starts to appear every place. According to Stephen A. Smith, once a player achieves lifestyle status. In the realm of sports, they are eternal. Jordan has it, LeBron has it, and Caitlin Clark will follow. What does the WNBA do now, then? Stephen A. Smith asked his other hosts that question. The league is dealing with a difficult situation. They can't ignore her or risk losing the money, but they also can't be perceived as favoring her excessively or take a chance on losing the locker room. Smith gave the league a warning, or more accurately, some pretty straightforward counsel. Join the group, or you run the danger of falling behind. According to him, the Caitlin Clark speeches will essentially be the upcoming TV rights negotiations. Her rights are funded by networks. The league's value would collapse if she were to retire tomorrow. Smith affirmed that it is real despite the agonizing reality of the next season. Because of this power dynamic, the impending season is quite intriguing. A league will try to manage a player whose wealth surpasses that of the league. It's a traditional battle for supremacy. Stephen A. likens it to the PGA Tour or the early NBA with Jordan. Alongside Tiger Woods, the abnormality is consistently opposed by the establishment. They detest the abnormality because